Good afternoon. Happy Monday. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Esmeralda Zamora, and this is KXAN Live's Noon Headlines. We're going to go ahead and start with our first headline of the day, and that is breaking news from Bastrop County. Starting with some breaking news over the weekend, more about a deadly encounter involving a Bastrop County sheriff's deputies. Neighbors called for help Saturday when they said a man was randomly firing his gun in the neighborhood. Deputies responded saying the man fired the gun at them but didn't hit anyone else. They called in the special response team. The sheriff says deputies later shot the man. Investigators have not publicly identified him just yet. Those who knew the suspect say he served in the Marines for years. However, because of his injuries, they say when he came back home, he was very different.
He was still this incredible young man with such a big heart, but we could tell he was struggling.
No one else was hurt during that incident. And over in Austin, today, Austin City Council members will officially vote to approve the city's new police chief. On Friday, the city manager announced he selected Lisa Davis for the position. Davis currently serves as an assistant chief of the Investigations Bureau over the Cincinnati Police Department. Local leaders say it's one of the most significant hiring decisions of our city has made in years, and the decision is being widely praised from the Austin Police Association to council members.
Especially in the early part of Chief Davis's tenure is going to be a lot of opportunity to kind of set the tone to where officers feel valued. They feel like we're coming out of kind of this dark period that we've had.
Chief Davis will replace interim Chief Robin Henderson. And the suspect in a deadly Hayes CISD bus crash that happened back in March will appear in court today for his first hearing. Today we are expecting an update on the status of the case. In March, a concrete pump truck crashed into a bus, killing a 5-year-old and another adult. The crash hurt more than 40 others. Police arrested Jerry Hernandez, charging him with criminally negligent homicide. Court documents show Hernandez admitted to smoking marijuana and taking cocaine within 24 hours before the crash. The crash pushed Hayes CISD to make a plan to outfit all of its buses with seatbelts. The bus involved in this crash did not have them. And you can find the latest details after that court hearing on our website, kxan.com. Now moving to another story, turmoil continues to grow in Venezuela following questions over the legitimacy of the presidential election there, and it's impacting Texans right here in Austin. This weekend, I was able to chat with a local Venezuelan who, like many others, is not happy with the results. All Venezuelans are tired of the government. All Venezuelans want this government out. This government is not the first to have a fraudulent election. The difference is now we have proof that they are stealing the elections, and the world must react. Different international organizations must react to support all Venezuelans. If not, migration will be even greater than the 6 million Venezuelans that have fled so far. The country has faced economic turmoil since U.S. sanctions were put in place in 2006. Austin immigration attorney Idris Abisu says the unrest is there, accounts for an uptick in immigration to the U.S. According to the United Nations, nearly 8 million people have fled the country since 2014, and with the latest election in question, Abisu says it's still going to get worse.
Venezuela started getting worse in regards to, oppression to the people, and right now we have heard that there has been some illegal detentions, kidnappings from the government to people in Venezuela. I think that, that it's going to bring a lot of fear to some of the people. So my expectation, I think that it's going to be more people from Venezuela fleeing from the situation that they have.
Abisu says people from Venezuela should try to stay in the U.S. for the time being because returning home could cause trouble with their immigration status. And once again, we will have more details and information regarding that electoral race on our website, kxan.com. Now, moving on, we have a special guest here once again. It is our KXAN meteorologist, Rich Siegel. Rich, thanks so much for joining us here on our noon headlines. Let's talk weather. What can you tell us?
Well, let's start with the former hurricane. Debbie has been downgraded to a tropical storm. Here is the latest satellite radar imagery of Debbie, which is about to cross out of northern Florida and into southern Georgia. The storm made landfall Locally, at shortly before 6 o'clock this morning, 7 o'clock in the east, we had winds at 75 miles per hour, 80 miles per hour when the storm made landfall as a Category 1. Now that it's over land, it has weakened. Winds at the last report were down to 70 with further weakening expected. There you see the current position of the storm. Actually, it's a little bit further to the north now. This is the 10 o'clock update from the National Hurricane Center. There will be another update at 1 o'clock, but I don't think we'll get a fresh cone of uncertainty until 4. All right, by tomorrow morning, winds are down to 45. Then notice it heads back into the water. It will move into the western Atlantic, and you see the icons for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. They're very close together. This is a stalled storm. This is not going to move a great deal. So as a result, there's going to be a lot of rain for southeast Georgia, much of South and North Carolina. There will be issues with flooding, more on that in a moment. And then the storm will start to move a little faster as it gets past the South Carolina, North Carolina border Friday. And by Saturday, the winds have decreased down to tropical depression strength, but expect a lot of rain along the East Coast. And there is the official forecast from the National Weather Service in those yellows, oranges, and reds and colors in between. They are still suggesting there could be some rain totals of between 10 and 20 inches, and there may be some totals that may exceed that. So we're going to be watching this very closely because we know that we have viewers here who have family and friends along the East Coast. This rain event is going to go all the way up, at least for now, over the next 7 days, into Pennsylvania, Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, and even in New York. Here, okay, that is the wrong camera, so I'm just going to go past that. We wanted to show you the Covington Vineyards camera that we have. That's the new one, but someone else will show that later on. Pollen count today, mold is high. Molds are down today from yesterday. Grass is medium, it's a little higher, and fall elm is low and dropping. And that's the pollen count for today. A nice start to the day with plenty of sunshine, but we've seen the clouds roll in. I'm looking at your Estonian camera view right now, and we see more clouds rolling in. So just like yesterday, sunny to partly cloudy. Lows this morning were in the low to mid 70s, officially 74 at Camp Mabry, and that is 2 degrees below normal. Most highs today, on a day where the normal high is 99, will be close to that. We'll average about 97 to 101 this afternoon. I think that will happen before 6 o'clock. I think that'll happen during the 3 to 5 o'clock time frame. By 9 o'clock, temperatures in the upper 80s to low 90s. Lows tomorrow morning will start out, I believe, again, will still be in the low to mid 70s. The computers always seem to have a very difficult time in capturing close to what we feel the normal lows will be. And then we are going to be much hotter tomorrow as high pressure moves a little bit closer to the area. We're looking at most highs tomorrow of 99 to 103 with some a little bit higher than that. All right, the humidity has dropped from the 80s and 90s this morning to 40s and 50s for the noon hour. By 2 o'clock, we're down into some 30s and 40s and a further reduction in the humidity, making it feel a little better today with several readings in the upper half of the 20s to some low 30s late this afternoon. Insofar as the heat index goes, the maximum heat indices today should get no higher than about 101 to 105. There may be a couple of reporting stations in Milam, Lee, and Fayette counties. Those are the 3 counties in our easternmost viewing area that may get a little bit higher in number for our heat index today, but that won't happen here in Austin. Yesterday's highest was 105, but the humidity will be lower later this afternoon, and so as a result, the heat index will not be as high as it was yesterday. Well, there's the high. It's going to slowly start to ease on back into our part of the country, then move a little bit further to the west, and then back to the east as it kind of ping-pongs back and forth. But that is our main dominating weather feature for the next several days. This means heat and no rain. We see on this future model still the chance for a few isolated areas of rain between now and 3. I just don't think that's going to happen. Mostly clear sky tonight through the overnight. And I think tomorrow we'll start out with sunny conditions, go partly cloudy during the afternoon, and this forecast looks to repeat on Wednesday and Thursday. Rain chances over the next 7 days, 0. So we'll just go past that because that's not a nice map.
0.
0. Muggy meter shows high humidity in the morning, but notice we get drops in the afternoon. This is because dew point temperatures will drop below 65. Right now, we're looking at that general range of 65 down to around 60 and even lower than that in the hill country. So that will take a little bit of the edge off of the heat. So 100 today, and then we just get warmer or hotter depending on your stance. 102 tomorrow, 103 on Wednesday, Thursday, 104 Friday, still in triple digits with a few more fair weather clouds on Saturday and Sunday. Most lows tomorrow will be in the low to mid 70s, and then as we go through the rest of the week, I think will generally range from 74 to around 78. Awesome. And that's the weather.
So we got a hot week ahead of us.
Yes, we do. With these temperatures are pretty similar to what we saw in August of 2023. Just a whole lot of heat. We had several records that were set on this corresponding week in 2023.
Awesome. And for those of our viewers that maybe have just joined us, can you do a recap of the hurricane in Florida and what we're calling it now?
All right, let's see if I can back out of this. It has to be done this way because the main computer is in the weather office, so I'm using a laptop for you. All right, so there's the the former hurricane, now a tropical storm. Winds have diminished down to 70. The storm made landfall before 6 o'clock our time today at Steinhatchee in Florida. That's in the Florida Big Bend region. But now that it's over land, it is weakening. Winds are down to 70. They actually may be lower than that because this is the 10 o'clock update from the National Hurricane Center. There'll be another update at 1 o'clock, but I don't think they're updating the cone, which is what this is, until we get to 4 o'clock this afternoon. But a tropical storm, winds will diminish down to 45 tomorrow morning. Then the storm moves back into the water, where winds will increase to 50 on Wednesday. This is a forecast, and 60 on Thursday. There's not much difference between the Wednesday and Thursday cones, so that means a very slow-moving storm that is going to drop a whole lot of rain across parts of eastern Georgia, much of South and North Carolina, and then by Friday, the storm weakens over land again, with winds at 45, and then the forecast is for a tropical depression with the storm over eastern Virginia on Saturday. So if you have interest along the East Coast, stay in touch with them. Just make sure that they're okay, because there are going to be folks that may get flooded out of their homes here if this forecast of 10 to 20 inches of rain materializes. We already have had about 8 inches of rain in Tampa, and I calculated a little more than 6.5 at the reporting station at Gainesville, Florida.
And a lot of wind, right? So family members, reach out to them, make sure that they're safe throughout this time. Next, I want to jump into this. I know we talked about it early this morning, but let's take another look for those viewers who didn't join us in our first stream.
That's
so
fine. That
first picture, what is that? What are we looking at?
That's the one on the left?
Yes.
With the hand? Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is a little bit of hail that fell in Sandy Creek Park yesterday. We had those storms pop up during the early to mid-afternoon hours. It started raining at Camp Mabry at 1 o'clock, but this is out in the hill country at Lime Creek Road. We had a little bit of tiny hail. It was anywhere from pea to marble size. It really wasn't hail storm warning worthy, but this was in Sandy Creek Park. And then the one on the right from Wendy Kirby, this is in Lee County. That's off to the east of Austin. That cloud formation there, just a thunderhead, but it looks more like a spaceship.
UFO cloud.
That's what it is. And she took the picture, and there's her dog in the foreground. So, there won't be really, we won't get too many pictures of the heat this week, but if you find a way that's really unique of staying cool in the heat, please email it to us at reported@kxan.com.
Yes, that would be awesome. We can feature it here. We can also feature it on the Weathercast.
On air, that's right.
Yep. Well, thanks so much for joining me, Rich. It was a pleasure to be with you once again on our KXAN Live. Anything else you want to say before we go?
Have a good day and stay safe in this heat. It's going to be a hot week across the area, and there's no let up inside the 8 to 14 day Climate Prediction Center outlook says it's going to stay hotter than normal next week with what they are calling normal amounts of rain. Let's hope.
Let's hope. Thanks so much, Rich.
You're welcome.
And that's everything that we have for you all on our KXAN noon headlines. Remember, if you missed the headlines earlier in the live, you can catch them on our website, kxan.com, and they're also going to be on our newscasts this afternoon. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Esmeralda Zamora once again, and this is KXAN Live.